Welcome everyone to today's insightful session on a subject that evokes both awe and curiosity because they're all around us, insects.
So I have a presentation with me, and definitely I'm not going to bore too much. What we'll do is I think I'll once the presentation is done, we can have a question and answer session if you have any. So actually today's session is insights on insects, but I feel I should reframe it as amazing insects. So probably I'll be telling you how those creatures are so amazing, and probably at the end of the session you may also admire those. So you're seeing in front of you the photographs which I took in my last 20 years journey. Apparently last 20 years, last 10 years, I'm not doing any photography anymore. I'm more into microscopic research, more into taxonomy, but hope to come back to photography one day. So we are going to see different aspects of insects. Uh, now, before going ahead, I think, of course, there can be a few people around here from biology background, but considering the overall footfall, it's better to talk about basics initially. So, entire living world on this planet can be divided into five kingdom, you can say. Okay, so on the left, you'll see there are five kingdoms: plants, animals, and so on. There are different uh, opinions whether fungi to be kept in plants or separate. So we'll not bother about that. So we know that animals is a separate kingdom. Now, animals are characterized by well-developed nervous system. Plants and other creatures do have nervous system, but maybe at the primitive stage. But we have very good central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, and of course related tissues very well developed. Okay, animals are free to move anywhere they want, almost all. Then none of the animal. Sorry, I had a sore throat yesterday. So none of the animal actually can prepare their own food in their body. Okay, so that's why we are called as a heterotrophic. Means we depend on others for food. Okay, plants are called as the autotrophs because they generate their own food using sunlight and photosynthesis. So we, as an animal, we depend on either plants or other animals for our food, and of course we are multicellular. So on the right side you will see animals can be classified broadly into the one with the backbone and without backbone. So I hope you will know that where we stand as a human, it's on the extreme left near the wild boar as a mammal. So we have backbone, we are warm blooded, but there are cold blooded vertebrates as well. Actually warm and cold blood is not a, it's a misnomer, but anyway. So we'll not go in detail of biological aspects, not to bore you too much. So on the right side, you will see invertebrates, the animals without backbone. Okay, so they don't have a fixed skeletal structure, internal skeletal structure as we have. And interestingly, those are the animals. They were in the forefront of evolution. Started with single-celled organism, but still nowadays you get plenty of invertebrates all around you. Majority of them you'll find them in sea, and majority of them on the land you will see are the arthropods. So on the bottom right, okay. So you know there are crustacea, then there are spiders and scorpions, and what we are interested for today is insects, and of course there are centipedes and millipedes. Okay, so first of all, let us see what do you mean by insect. Now insect is a abbreviated version of Greek Latin word called insectum, in sections. Okay, before going ahead, probably many of my friend, I mean you also have might have had same experience. Many students leave biology for the fear of dangerous names and dangerous diagrams, because these names actually have their origin in Greek and some Latin. So it has been widely accepted worldwide that we'll be using those Greek names and Latin names wherever possible. And since English is a common language, there are common English words as well. So they have their origin in those language as well. So here in front of you will see a photo of one of the tiger beetle, which I clicked around in Mumbai city. Okay. So on the left, you will see this diagram on the left is available on internet freely. So that talks about how insects have evolved. So on the top, you will see something like maggot-like, caterpillar-like structure without legs. And as you proceed down, you will finally at the end you will see insect. Okay, just I mean second last, third last. Sorry, there is written as myriapod that includes centipede and millipede. So in this diagram, you will see that the body parts are colored differently. So insect head, actually, you don't see now, but insect head is made up of 6 segments. Then, as you can see in the diagram, it is gray colored. Then the middle section is thorax or a chest, which is made up of 3 segments, and rest of the segments contribute as an abdomen. Okay, so in the diagram in front of the photo in front of you, you will see beetle, one of the tiger beetle, and I have put arrows as a different to the different body parts. So first is head. Okay, now forget that I told you that it is made up of 6 segments. It is just for you to remember. In today's insect, adult insect, you don't see 6 segments. Okay, so forget. So here you will see the head. Now, what is the purpose of head? It helps in locomotion. So not by actually moving, but guiding it. So definitely insect has to see where it is going, what it is seeing. Okay, the insect has to smell whether it is edible, non-edible, danger, or whatever. So there are paired antennae, and insect has to feed. So there are mouth parts. Well, to stop in between. There are million species of insect. So what we are talking today is actually a kind of a generalized talk on insect. There are exceptions for all examples. Okay, and exceptions will prove the rule. So as I say, mouth parts, there are generalized mouth parts, but mouth parts differ a lot from species to species, order to order, family to family. Okay, so followed by head, you will get a thorax. Now, thorax in most of the insect is very strongly muscular because it has organs of locomotion, 3 pairs of legs and a pair of wing. And then, of course, you have abdomen, which doesn't have any extension as such, but it will have some projections. We call them in biology as styles, surci. And of course, internally, it will have genitalia, breeding, I mean, copulating organs. Now, here in front of you, you will see a beetle, and you might think that the um, last pair of leg is arising from the abdomen. Actually, it is not. It is from the last segment of the thorax. Okay. In beetles, the arrangement of thorax and abdomen is little bit modified. It is not as a thumb rule for general sex, but little bit modified on the upper side and lower side. So that's how probably you may get confused. Even in cockroach, if you see running around, you will think that the legs are jutting out of the this thorax. Actually, they are from the last segment of the thorax. Okay, so this is overall insect body. Okay, now as I told you, we have on this planet around 1 million species of insects. Maybe in 900,000 to 1 million, the number swaps, but still the number is very much there. Okay, so on the left, I mean, all around this pie chart, you will see that I have put names of insects, and I've named. I mean, I put the common names. Okay, so I'll not go in detail of each and every name. While I talk, you can see those names. But what is most interesting is 80% of all animal life is insect. Rest 20, you can consider the snails, you can consider amphibians, I mean the frogs and toads, salamanders, fish, centipede, millipede, even to some extent crabs, birds, mammals. So everything put comes in that 20%. So that's why it is said that insects are omnipresent. They are present everywhere. Okay. Eventually, you might have seen that they are found in every corner of the planet. Okay, everywhere, right from mangroves on the seashore till almost up to a snow line. Excuse me. Yeah. So, mind you, I'm talking about number of species. I'm not talking about number of individuals. Suppose if you dig out termite colony, you will get literally millions of them in single colony around your maybe your area. Okay, so there are some daring estimates that suppose if you want to share insects within all available human beings, of course it is an assumption, but single human being can get something like insects worth of 12 times his or her body weight. So suppose you are 60, you will get around 720 kilograms of insect. So that is of course possible assumptions. We never know the exact number, but insects are everywhere. So as I am talking, there are insects around me. As you are listening, there are insects around you. So they are in your room as well. Okay, and I can see Manoj sir's background. There are forests. So phenomenal number of insects you will get in the background. So you name the color, you name the shape, you name the size, you will get in insect. Okay. Today's session is about introducing you to the insect world. And as I told you, there are 1 million species, so it is impossible to talk on each and every. There are around 29 to 30 orders of insects. So again, it is impossible to talk on each and every. So here in front of you, there are some representatives clicked by me few during my last few decades of journey. Okay, so I think you can make out some insects. You can know the common names. There's a butterfly, there's a damselfly, there is a close-up of grasshopper head, extreme right corner. Just left to it, you will see a jewel bug. Mind you, it is not a jewel beetle. The middle red one on the top is a bug nymph. Okay, so yeah, and somewhere in here, I think you can see my cursor. That is praying mantis, although it is looking like a stick insect. Okay, down here, very colorful insect. You will see that is a tiger beetle. Okay, on the right you will see there's a stag beetle in which the male will have the mandibles which look like a stag male horn of the stag. Okay, on the right side you will see jumping beetle, although it cannot jump, but it is said like that because of its leg structure. So anyway, we cannot go in detail of each and every one. Just to give you an idea, the tiniest insect, if I'm not wrong, is zero point 0.2 millimeter, which is absolutely invisible by a naked eye. I think it's some of the flower beetle. The heaviest beetle you will see is a Goliath beetle found in Africa, which can weigh up to the scale of around 150 grams, just like you hold a mango in your hand, that size. Okay, the longest insect you will get in Indonesian rainforest, that is a stick insect, which can be well beyond a foot long. Okay, so variety of colors, shapes, and sizes you will get in insects, and it is really a kind of mesmerizing world. Now, since we are humans, it is good to compare, and we are animals, insects are animals, so it is good to compare our body with their body. Okay, so overall in animal world, the body plan remains little bit similar. It varies according to the habitat and bit of evolution, but basic parts remain. So both of us, we have head, both of us have thorax and abdomen. So there's a little bit of modification you will see in humans. Thorax and abdomen is united, we call it as a tummy or torso or whatever, but in insect it is quite distinct. So here insect, you will see there are three pairs of legs which are attached to abdomen, sorry, thorax, not abdomen. Okay, uh, now uh, we as human, we have skeleton inside. I have put a figure of human which is showing skeleton which is present inside. On the skeleton you will get muscles, then tissues, and of course there are visceral organs in between. lymph organs in between, and on the extreme outside you will get, and there's a fat layer in between, and at the outside you will get skin. Okay, so whatever you see me, whatever you see yourself, uh, is a skin. Okay, uh, on the other hand, if you see insect on the right side, you are seeing insect photos. Okay, what you're seeing is actually a insect skeleton. Okay, in biological world it is called as the exoskeleton. Exo, that is present outside, and inside. Okay, so here you will see beautiful beetle, here you will see a mosquito with a blood in its belly. What you see here is actually a hard skeleton. Now that is the quite interesting reverse thing we have in this world. Okay, so in the middle you will see a section through human body which is filled with a lot of organs. There's a tissue, there are blood vessels, fat bodies, and so more. Even the white structure down there, you will see a kind of possibly related to some part of vertebra which is inside. Whereas if you see a diagram down below, the blue one, that is the section through insect. Now insect body, you have to imagine like a balloon filled with water. Okay, you might have crushed mosquito, you might have crushed cockroach. So when you crush that, some liquid comes out, and that is of course a blood. uh, but when you crush some vertebrate, it is different. Okay, so here in insect body, when you see through section, it is filled with blue fluid. I mean, so not blue, here you'll see blue. It is called as the hemolymph, or blood. In the center there's a digestive system. On the top you'll see a red structure, that is the heart. And down below you will see yellow spots, those are the that is the nervous system. Okay, and the dark blue structures coming from the right and left, that is a part of respiratory system. Insect life systems are quite interesting, quite different from vertebrates. Okay, so this is why probably one of the reasons why insects are so successful, because like for us human, we have to protect ourselves because our skin is comparatively soft. It can get bruises, scratches. Okay, but whereas insect, it is the skeleton that is which is outside, and it's like a shield for them, natural shield. So whatever we are feared of, maybe cold, or maybe someone is attacking us, insects are not that much afraid of. Of course they don't feel like that, but they're protected naturally by the skeleton which is outside their body. Okay, now we are going to see different life systems in brief, and then at the end we are going to talk about insects in general. So on the top right, you will see a human heart. Okay, uh, which is present. Everyone knows know where it is, and the purpose of heart is to pump the blood throughout our body. And there are vessels, we call them arteries and veins. Okay, which carry blood to from heart to the muscle, from the muscle to the heart to the lungs, etc. In insects it is quite different. On the left, you will see insect heart, which is caged on the top of the insect body. Of course, it is inside. So, insect heart is multi-chambered. Our heart is four-chambered. Okay, birds have four-chambered heart. Reptiles have incomplete four chambers. Frogs and toads have three chambers. Fish has two chambers. Okay, but if you see in insect, it is multi-chambered. In each segment of the body, there lies a heart segment. In the middle diagram, you will see something like ABC written. Okay, so in segment A, you will see chamber A, segment B, chamber B. Okay, and so on. Except in the head, all thoracic regions, all abdominal regions, there is a heart. Okay, and heart is present on the dorsal side, that is the side which is facing sky. Okay. Now, all of you know how our heart pumps, so we're not going in detail, but how insect heart pumps is quite curious. Look at the central diagram here. Uh, there are openings between those two heart chambers. So, opening between A and B right now it is closed, but it is open between B and C. Okay, similarly, if you go ahead, C and D will be closed, D and E will be open. So alternate chambers are open and closed. So this is how the heart pumps blood into the insect body. Now what is interesting to know is, insects do not have arteries and vessels. Okay, this system is called as open circulatory system. Our blood flows through closed vessels, closed tube, we call them as arteries and veins. But insects do not have that. That's why I told you insect body you have to remember as a balloon filled with water. Okay, so all the visceral organs in insect's body, they get flushed into the blood continually. Okay, second thing is, the flow of blood in insect's body is from tail to, I mean not tail, from the back side to the head side. So blood enters heart near the end region of the abdomen, and it is pushed anterior towards the head, and near the head there is an opening through which the blood comes out. Okay, so diagram down below you'll see some arrows. So blood flow is like that. There's a convection current which flows. So imagine insect organs are getting always, of course there are not many organs as we have, but they get flushed with this blood on and off. Okay, on the right side you will see some of the cells, like we have WBCs, RBCs. Insects do have cells, and they do a lot of function. Okay, uh, we have WBC which fight, which are soldier, so they have WBC, I mean analogs or not analogs, similar, which do fight, which do eat, which do kill a foreign particle which enters their body. Some of the cells carry nutrition. Insects do not have RBC. There is no red blood cell, no red blood corpuscle in insect, because their blood is not red. Except few, there are few insects which have red blood, but most of the insects, majority of the insects do not have red blood. Why, we'll see when you see the respiratory system. Okay, so these are the cells, you can see. Okay, so this is how circulatory system works in insect. Now everywhere you will see that I am putting some of the human organs so as to compare these things with those of the insect counterparts. Okay, now respiratory means related to respiration. Now we take in oxygen with the help of uh, nose. I mean nose is our thing which will take in the oxygen. Okay, now insects do not have nose on their head. We have it on our head, but insects don't have. Okay, in fact they have multiple noses. There are multiple openings on the side of their body. Here you can see near the arrow there are spiracles through which the oxygen will go. Okay, inside. So here you will see in the diagram. Of course the diagrams are available online, anyone can see. So this is the spiracle which will take in the air, and like we have trachea, insects have trachea which carries oxygen directly to the tissue and muscle. Okay, now this spiracle that is opening has different shapes, and that can vary from insect to insect. Let's not go in detail of that. So down here you will see how the things work. The spiracle gives port of entry to oxygen. The oxygen will enter into trachea. Then the trachea will branch into tracheoles, minute tracheoles, and they will directly enter the tissue. And they branch, rebranch, 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 and they send oxygen directly to the cell. Okay, tissue cell, whatever tissue it is. Okay, now here you will see that there are black rings. This is just like a exhaust tube of our washing machine. Okay, but in insect, if this tube is this circular tubes, they're called chitinous tubes. If they're not there, this trachea will collapse and it will not be able to carry oxygen. So to keep them open, these rings are there, which are hard structure. Okay, just like we have washing machine exhaust pipe. Remember that. Okay. Uh, on the other hand, when we take in the oxygen inside in the lung, it is mixed with hemoglobin. Okay, then hemoglobin carries that oxygen to different parts of the body, but oxygen is not carried directly to the tissue. There's a lymphatic system in between. So breathing in humans or in mammals requires lot and lot of physiological energy. Okay, whereas insects do not, because insects do not develop hemoglobin. Okay, so there is no need to invest energy in making those molecules. So directly taking the air, directly oxygen will go till end of the tube. It will reach the cell. Now there's a possibility of infection, so that is taken care by the immune system. Insects do have very well immune system, so that is taken care by that. Take a, I mean, there are different cells like amoebocytes and which directly attack the antigen or foreign particle, and it will be destroyed. Okay, so this is how insect, and that's why if you keep insect in a dibba, so it will remain alive for longer time, because its efficiency per CCR engulf is much more than what we have, because we are multicellular, trillions and trillions of cells, each one. To have oxygen, you need to breathe in a lot of air, then a lot of hemoglobin is required, a lot of pumping is required. Okay, so imagine that thing. Insects avoid that. Okay, now circulatory system is different from respiratory system. In our, it is same. Same as in oxygen is taken by lungs, but it fuses with the blood. That doesn't happen in insect. So they are totally separate, and that's why they are more efficient. It's not that ours is efficient, but it takes a lot of energy. Now when you see nervous system on the left, okay, uh, on the top I have put a diagram of a German Shepherd, and you will see there's a brain in the top, in the head, and there's a spinal cord which run till end of the body, and there are nerves coming out of it. Okay, insects do have similar setup, but little bit different. Okay, uh, the main difference you will see here, just you can make out in the diagram, that insect nervous system is on the lower side of the of the body. We call it as the ventral side. Whereas in animals, sorry, dog, you will see it is on the upper side, facing sky. Okay, so that is the difference. Insect system is made up of small, how do I put it? It is called as the ganglia. It is a fusion of nerves. Okay, like our brain has millions of cell. Insect brain doesn't have that much, so many cells. In fact, it is made up of two lobes, that is called as the cerebral ganglia. Okay, and from that the nerve cord arises and it goes till end of the abdomen. As all of you know, the insect body is made up of segments. So each segment has at least one ganglia, which is going to regulate the functions of that segment only. Just like in our hierarchy, we have municipality, then state government, and so on. So local um, welfare, I will say, or organization of that segment is taken care by that ganglia. Okay, and you might have seen that even if you cut the head of insect, it will remain still alive for some time, because it is not breathing through nose, because it is not controlling entire body through its brain. Okay, so there is a distribution of work given nicely. Okay, on the right side you will see the nervous, this excretory system. Okay, we have kidneys inside, and our kidneys are fused. There are different cells which fuse together, and they do the filtration. Okay, insects don't have that kind of kidney. Okay, in fact you will see something like, I hope you can see my arrow. It is called Malpighian tubules. They have been discovered well before, well long ago, somewhere in 1669. That time function was unknown, but now we are well aware that these Malpighian tubules maintain the osmotic pressure, maintain the liquid pressure inside the insect body. The thing is, they are tubules, they are tube. and the number varies from insect to insect. And as I told you, this again you have to relate to circulatory system, because there is no closed vessel, there is no artery, no vessel, so entire insect body is flushing into the blood. Similarly, as the blood is flowing, the Malpighian tubules also float into the not float, swim into the blood. Okay, and while doing that, the blood gets filtered. Okay, another thing is Malpighian tubules are attached to the digestive system in insect. In humans, for example, they are separate. Digestive system is separate, excretory is separate. Okay, in insect it is fused. Okay, so by the way, in insect, there's a foregut, that is the first part of the gut, middle gut, and hind part of the latter part of the gut. So at the junction of mid gut and hind gut, there are these Malpighian tubules. So Malpighian tubules will filter whatever unwanted nitrogenous product are there, and they will be excreted out of the insect body. Humans, we excrete urea. Insects excrete uric acid. Very very rarely see you will see insect shit very insect poo is wet. It is not, it is dry, because insects don't drink too much of water like what we do. So whatever they eat, whatever water they get from their food, that is enough. If required, they do it, but not always. So their hind part or the end part of the digestive system again reabsorbs the water which has been sent by Malpighian tubules. Okay, so that's why the excreta or the poo or the shit that is coming out of the insect body is dry, and it is uric acid. Okay, and by the way, it is very rich in nitrogen. It is very very good food nourishment for the plants. Okay, so this is excretory system in insects. Now, insect vision is again unique. I think this slide is quite self-explanatory. How do we see insect? How do we see flower is on the left, and how do the insects see flower is like this. So insect vision is a compound vision. They don't have single eye, but it is made up of small eyes. They are called as the ommatidia. Okay. Now, while talking, I may introduce you to some Latin Greek word. Forget, you're not studying insects, so it's okay if you forget. But just remember the common terminologies, like insect vision is a compound vision. Okay, so each eye is made up of small compound cells, lenses. Okay, on the right down you will see how it looks. The insect vision is not very high megapixel. It is pixelated in today's camera terminology. So on the right side you will see this thing. Now, why so? In spite of the fly, it can possibly the fastest flying insect. Then you have tiger beetle, which run very fast. Can you imagine running or flying with this kind of vision? You cannot. Okay, but insects have a very fantastic uh, set of organs. We call them as antennae. They guide them where to go. There are hairs on their body which will tell them, are you flying up, are you flying down, left, right. Okay, so it's not only vision that aids them in flight. There are multiple things required. Okay, and we work in unison to, insect flight is flawless. Very hardly you will see insect hitting someone and getting killed or boggled. That doesn't happen. Okay. Insects do have ultraviolet vision, unlike us. Okay, so I have put a photograph I found on, I think, internet somewhere. You see yellow flower by your naked eye. Insects see something different. Okay, they will see in UV light flower. Okay, now why so? For us it is flower, but for insect, majority of the insect, it is food. So what they do is, you will see many times insect coming to the flower like this, and it is not landing directly. Okay, why do the insects come on the flower? Either to feed on pollen or to feed drink nectar, sweet fluid. So whenever you see insect coming on the flower, near the flower, it will not land directly. In fact, it will fly something like, hover around it. And while hovering, insect is going to locate the runways located on the flower petal. Okay, just like we have runways where aeroplane can land, there are runways on the petals which are not seen by humans. Insect can see those. where to land. But why are the runways are there? So they will guide insect to the nectary where it is present in the flower. They will guide insect to the pollens. Okay, insect do smell, but just by smelling it will take time. Instead, smelling plus this visual clues, insect is going to land. So flower, in fact, helps insect ki bhai, you sit on this petal, follow this line, end of the line you will get your food. Okay, now flower and insect are, they are married for millions of years. Intricate mutualistic relationship. In fact, insect plant interaction is a very huge and interesting topic. Keep it aside. But flowers need insect for pollination. Okay. um, you get bitten by mosquito. Okay, mosquito have very tiny eyes, compound vision. Obviously they cannot locate you, but they locate you by your carbon dioxide emission and your body heat. Okay, anyway, so this is how insect vision is, compound vision. Okay. Now again I have put here our nose, human nose. Okay, because in human body we smell by nose, we breathe by nose, but insect there are separate. We have already seen that insect noses are spread across its body. So the actual smelling is done by antennae. Okay, and antennae are very, very, amazingly effective. Okay, like if you put some food open in your house, within no minutes the fly will be around you. If you drop something on floor, there'll be ant. Okay, that is not possible with compound vision, but possible with the help of antenna. Okay, now we'll see the middle picture of a moth antenna. These are not my diagrams, I've taken from internet. So these are the antenna of a male moth. Okay, and this male moth can locate a female moth few kilometers away. Amazing. One molecule of female pheromone can be, detected by per a million air molecule. Okay, so there are reports of male moths reaching female moths from 5 kilometers, maybe more. Okay, and this is possible only because of this extremely sensitive antennae. If you are really interested, later on you can Google scanning electron micrograph done with the electron microscope. Insect antennae are photographed, and you will see that there are no noses, but there are sensitive hairs, tiny hairs, which smell it. Anyway, so insects do smell with antennae, insects do breathe with spiracles. In us it is same. Okay. Now how do the insects do locomotion? There are wings and there are legs. Okay, so let us talk of the legs first. So insects do have different types of legs. They vary according to their food feeding and habitat, whatever. Okay, so on the right side you will see there's a locust leg which is stretched to look like a human leg. Okay, human leg is in the middle, this one. Okay, so it is similar, function is also similar. The nomenclature of the bones in human is also similar to that of insect. Of course insect do not have bone inside, but the part. Okay, but you will see that there are some insects which do predate. So there's a praying mantis. So the green one is a predatory leg, it has some adaptation. Like cockroach leg is meant for running. So cockroach cannot grab a fly or a caterpillar while walking by its leg. That is done by the front pair of leg in praying mantis, which has spines on it. It will grab the insect. Okay, then there are digger legs. Okay, like there's a mole cricket which digs literally into the wet soil, or soft soil inside. So for digging it requires special modification of the leg. You need a very strong muscle to do that. Okay, then you will get jumping leg. All of us, we are aware of grasshoppers. So down here you will see a grasshopper leg, which has a thigh part of the leg is very much broadened, because it is very much muscular, because it is required to jump. Grasshopper can fly, but they have to first take off by jumping. So that entire body weight has to be thrown up against gravity. So that is required, and that is aided by the this femur, okay, which is very muscular. Then there are aquatic insects which swim. Okay, now swimming is you need a oar or you need a tail. Okay, something flattened. So that is done by insect legs, which are aquatic. So they have hairs which increase the surface area, and that is used for swimming. Okay, insects do fly. Many, some of them cannot. In some, only adults can fly. Okay, so here on the left side you will see a wing of a probably some raptorial bird. You will see probably a condor or some bird, and on the right you will see a dragonfly wing. Structurally, evolutionarily, they are different, but they are doing same function of flight. Okay, on the left you will see some lines drawn within the insect wing. So internally, insect wing has veins. They have names. Okay, we'll not go in detail. Here you'll see those are marked with different colors. So actually the veins are carrying blood into it. Okay, they are not just solid veins, they are hollow veins. So they are carrying blood into it. Now why do the blood should go to the wing? First of all, some of the insects do fold their wings. So to open the wing, there has to be some liquid going into it, so the collapsed vein will open when the blood is going into it. Okay, in some, of course, they are permanently open like butterflies. Okay, so blood is in under pressure that goes into the wing. Okay, now insects are cold blooded. Insects cannot generate their own body heat. So the diurnal insect or day insect, um, they are, I should say, active during daytime but not active during nighttime, because simply because their physiology, their stomach cannot generate a lot of energy which will keep them active. So insects are sluggish in the night time. Okay, uh, I hope you have heard something about basking. Whenever you're doing bird watching in, like, Corbett area, it is cold in the winter. So you'll see bird are sitting in the sun. Even we do sit in the sun, absorb a lot of sun rays. So what do insects do? Let's, for example, see a butterfly. So butterfly in the early rays, it will sit with open wings. Okay, the blood into the body will be pumped actively into the wings. Okay, so whenever it is going into the wing, it will get heated by the sun rays, and of course pumping is on. So the blood which is going out of the body should come in as well. So cold blood goes out, gets warmed up, and warm blood comes into the body, into the heart, near the all muscles. So those muscles which are cold, they get warmed up by the warm blood coming out into the body. How does the blood gets warm? By the sun rays. Okay, now doesn't it similar to the solar panel we have for for heating water? Same. So probably insects are the first, I mean, from where we might have taken the idea of solar cell, solar panel. So this is how insects will generate their body heat. I'm giving generalized example. There are insects which are active in the night time. Okay, so they generate uh, energy by some different mechanism. Okay, there are mosquitoes, there are bugs which are active in the night time. There are different beetles which are active in the night time. So they they don't require sun rays immediately to become active. Anyway, so I hope you understand now how the wings work. On the right side you will see some beetle. Okay, so I told you most of the insects have two pairs of wings. So in beetle, front pair is hard as a shield. Okay, but second pair is leathery. So this second leathery pair is not visible when insect is at the beetle is at the rest. So they are tucked in below the hard pair of wing. Now that hard pair of wing is called as elytra or elytra. Okay, which is very hard. Now this, people have done research on folding mechanism of these beetle wings. A lot of work has already gone into it. So and down here you will see ants and termites which get wings only during monsoon, only during they are swarming, not otherwise. Okay, When their job is done, the wings are shed off. Okay, but not with the butterfly, not with the beetle, not with the dragonfly. They are permanent. If butterfly damages its wing, that is the end of butterfly. Okay. Now a lot of locomotion is enough. Now we'll see insect mouth parts. Like we have upper jaw, lower jaw. There are mandibles. Like we have teeth. There is a tongue which is called as hypopharynx. Okay, so there are five parts in insect mouth: upper lip, lower lip, mandible, maxilla, and tongue. Okay, forget. I'm just out of flow. I'm telling, but what you have to remember is upper lip and lower lip they guide, and maxilla they guide the things towards the mouth cavity. Okay, then there are maxillary pulp which is going to help food from spilling and going around. Okay, then there's a hypopharynx, a tongue which is going to push food back into the pharynx. Esophagus, sorry. Okay, but this is a generalized. There are mosquitoes, there are beetles, there is a fly, there's a butterfly. So phenomenal diversity of mouth part you will get in insect. Phenomenal. Okay, like what butterfly does is it is um, siphoning the nectar and drinking it. If you see beetle, sorry, the fly here on the top right, you will see it is lapping and sponging just like we sponge the table after food. Whatever is spilled on the this on this table, it is drink for the fly. So it doesn't have tube, so it has a sponging type of mouth part. It has a spongy pad at the end of it. Everyone knows mosquito. It is piercing and sucking. There's a cockroach which is biting and chewing. Okay, like even in grasshopper, you'll get chewing mouth parts. Down below, you will see a ferocious beetle called as the tiger beetle, which has very big mandibles. It is used to kill the prey. Okay. Now remember, insects don't chew too much. Okay, some of them do, not all. What they do is they just pick the morsels and they are taken out, gulp inside. Okay, digestion is done in the digestive system. So like we have mandible, we have teeth, we have maxilla. They do have, but feeding mechanism is different. Okay, so again and again I'm telling you, I'm giving you a generalized idea, but you name the species, you'll name, I mean, you will get a diverse variety of mouth parts. Okay,